If you were with us earlier, you saw that there were fireworks today on Capitol Hill after a top former IRS official, Lois Lerner, whose face has become very familiar to Americans across this country. She once again took the fifth. She refused to testify about the IRS targeting scandal of conservative groups. During the House hearing, she basically took the fifth over and over again to every question. Here's a look at some of what happened.
What exactly wanted to fix the problem caused by Citizens United? What exactly does that mean? Would you please turn the mic on?
My counsel has advised me that I have not waived my constitutional rights under the Fifth Amendment, and on his advice, I will decline to answer any question on the subject matter of this hearing.
So you're not going to tell us who wanted to fix the problem caused by Citizens United?
On the advice of my counsel, I respectfully exercise my Fifth Amendment right and decline to answer that question.
Okay. Joining me now, Ohio Republican Congressman Jim Jordan, who was inside that hearing. He's on the Oversight and Reform Committee, and he's been involved with this story since the very beginning and this investigation. Congressman, welcome. Good to have you here this morning.
Good to be with you.
Were you surprised? Did you think that anything else might happen here this morning, or that your questions might possibly be answered?
Martha, we actually did. You know, just a couple days ago, it looked like through her attorney that she was actually going to testify, actually going to answer our questions, more importantly, give answers to the American people. So we were a little bit surprised, although there had been some ambiguity on this throughout the last week. But just a couple days ago, we thought she was going to testify, which I think underscores something really interesting. You know, her attorney had talked about a possible immunity deal. I think the key thing to remember is she doesn't need an immunity deal. She's already got it. The President of the United States said there's not a smidgen of corruption. The FBI leaks to the Wall Street Journal. No one's going to be referred for prosecution. And the person heading the investigation at the Justice Department gave $6,000 to the President's campaign. The fix is already in. So in light of all that, she still won't testify. She's got the best immunity deal you could have, and she still won't answer our questions and answer the American people's questions, which leads me to believe one thing. There's something there that she doesn't want made public, and that's why we have to keep digging. That's why there needs to be a special prosecutor appointed, and that's why we got to continue our investigation and get to the bottom of this.
I think, I think any common sense take on that would agree with you, because if she didn't have anything that she didn't want to share, she would be able to share exactly what happened, and she would also, I would think, be able to talk about, the program, how they did it, why they wanted to look at these groups, because they thought they were too politically active and they thought they might be breaking the law, or that they couldn't receive tax-exempt status because of their political activities. Why wouldn't all of that be fair game to discuss unless there was some link going back to a political agenda?
Exactly. And remember what she said, Martha, on May 22nd last year, 2013, when she first came and invoked her Fifth Amendment rights. Before she pled the Fifth, she said, I've done nothing wrong, I've broke no rules, I've broke no laws, and I've given no false information to this committee or any other committee. She said all that, and then she exercises her Fifth. And since that time, we have learned the joke of an investigation that's going on in the Justice Department. So everything points to her. She should come tell the story. She did nothing wrong, tell the story. If she knows she's not going to get prosecuted, if she knows the President said there's no corruption here, come tell your story, put your spin on it, and still she won't do that, which again highlights one important thing. She's hiding something from us and hiding something from the American people. And that's why we need a special prosecutor. That's why we need to continue this investigation.
Well, I guess that's the next question. Are you going to get it? Because Darrell Issa suggested in the comments that he made after this morning's hearing was over that he said, well, we are kind of at the bottom of this. I don't see that there's any more testimony, any more chance at testimony in this forum anyway from Lois Lerner. He said he's done.
Well, we got to keep pressing because it's so fundamentally important. This goes to the heart of who we are as a country. When you have your government attacking people's exercise of their First Amendment rights, you've got to get to the bottom of this. You've got to get to the truth. And so we're going to keep doing that. We're going to explore every angle we can, see if we've missed something along the way. We're going to continue to press because it's that fundamentally important.
But it's unlikely, it sounds like, that you're going to get a special prosecutor in this case, or that she would be held in contempt or, be able to be subpoenaed in any other way, especially when, the President and, everybody else on that side of this argument seems to think it's over. You heard Elijah Cummings, we've spent millions of dollars on this. We've had hearings. There's no there there. The President said said it himself, not a smidgen.
If there's no there, why didn't Lois Lerner, when she knows the president's got her back, when she knows that the Justice Department has leaked to the FBI that no one's going to be prosecuted, when she knows no one's going to jail based on what the Justice Department has said, if there's no there, why didn't she answer our questions? There is something there, and we've got to explore it.
Now, what about these Tea Party groups? And, we've spoken with them many times. They say that this process has been used against them, that the rules that have now been put in place for these organizations are in some ways more strict and more onerous than what they had before.
No, you're exactly right, Martha. To add insult to injury, now the proposed rule going forward would codify the behavior that Lois Lerner presided over when she was at the IRS. This is her legacy. Now, all this ill treatment that she had for conservative groups is going to be codified in this new C4 rule that's been proposed, where over 100,000 comments have been submitted saying this thing stinks, where we had a hearing last week where both the Tea Party and the ACLU both said this rule's no good. So that's to add insult to injury. That's where this thing is headed, and we've got to stop that as well.
And once it's codified like that, whatever side of the political spectrum you're on, you should be concerned about that. Thank you very much, Representative Jordan. Thanks for stepping in this morning. We appreciate it.
You bet.